This is your girl, IkwerreGirl at your only IkwerreGirl living in London. And you can argue with yourself. It's Friday, and as usual, you know, we have our usual Friday musings. And this is just gist, comedic news from all over the world. I have a way of telling the truth, real life gist, real life news in a comedic way. So that's what I do. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the red button and turn on the notification bell so that you can be updated on when videos come out. Also, you can also like my page on Facebook, follow me on Instagram or Twitter. I don't know. But yeah, just keep in touch and see what's going on so that you don't miss out on the latest in town. Last week Sunday, we had International Women's Day, and it was a day to celebrate women all over the world. It was an amazing time. I actually kind of got into some discussions on Facebook about feminism and submission and all that, which is why I have taken it upon my humble self to do a series on feminism, submission from all walks of life. And you can see that on Talk to Dot-ish. Right. Let us celebrate the women, the great women that we have today, for any sort of achievements they have or no sort of achievements at all, because the idea is about celebrating them. And isn't it so interesting that we also have Mother's Day on Sunday? Oh, double celebration. It's a double whammy. So let us celebrate women yet again on Mother's Day for all of their good works and everything. I just love women, and I'm a woman. I love myself. Self-love. In other news, England, what has been going on? So there's been an ongoing case on racism and non-racism and all that stuff. People don't know what to call it. There's some that are for it, some that are out. It's the case of Meghan and Harry. Apparently, the little baby, they said someone asked, what color is the baby, or what color would the baby be? Something like that. And they had this interview with Oprah, and they said, sadly, we can't say who said that. Now, there's been quite a lot of things where people are saying, well, Meghan said she never knew Prince Harry was royalty, but she seemed to be someone who followed the royal family. Hey! And even people in Africa know who the royal family are, so I don't know about that. And then she was very close to some of Harry's family members. So I'm wondering, I did not know. But anyway, that's not the case. So they had this big interview with Oprah because it just seems so unfair to the world that someone is having a baby and you're asking what color they're gonna be. Brings me back to a personal experience I had. So obviously my children are quite light skinned, fair complexion and stuff like that. The first boy being quite light. When I had the second child, right, she was so light. In fact, she had blue eyes, which is quite mysterious anyway. I remember a certain grandmother always calling to say, what color is the baby?
What?
Is she lighter than her brother?
No.
2 weeks later, I hope her color is still light. I hope she's still light. I hope she's still light. Do you know what I mean? Like, basically, back then, if I had known, I should have rang Oprah and said, can you imagine? The mother-in-law, the grandmother is asking what color the baby is, and she still keeps coming to ask, is she still fair? Hey! My heart bleeds. In fact, I'm emotionally traumatized right now. Saying that in the world we live today, that everything has to be PC, you don't even know how to communicate. I'll give you an example. I've been trying to teach my children not to call people fat or thin or short or tall. You know, I'm trying to teach them how, or ugly or fine. Well, I don't think there's a problem in saying somebody's fine. I think when you say someone is ugly, that's when you have a problem. So I'm trying to teach them. But then they have this program called Thomas Tank and Friends. And if you have kids or not, and you've watched Thomas Tank and Friends, you will realize that the controller is actually called the Fat Controller. Now, my 5-year-old girl, that one doesn't want to hear anything. She needs to have logical explanation and reason for why. Reminds me so much of one of her parents. Not me though. Me, I was the quiet one. So there is a Fat Controller. That's his name. We don't know his real name. He may be Jack or Johnny or all that, but all of the trains and everybody in that program, they call him the Fat Controller.
Jesus is Lord.
You see where the problem is. But anyway, in this life, it's quite difficult, you know. It's quite difficult, you know, to talk about stuff without it meaning something else. But basically, when people begin to complain about the fact that Meghan is making Harry leave his family, hold on, turn with me to the book of Genesis chapter 2 verse 24, I think. Check it, Google is your friend. It says, for this reason a man will leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, they shall become one flesh. It also says in the book, the good book, somewhere, that you will push your wife before that thing. Something like that, paraphrasing. So now this boy's grandmother is the chief commander-in-chief Armed Forces Ruling Council of Church of England. And you're asking him why he's cleaving to his wife?
Chai!
There's so much confusion in this thing called religion. I don't understand it, If you say you want to do A is bad. Okay, let me go and do B. No, B is not okay now. We have to come to A. In terms of having a colored person or a person of color now becoming someone who's going to be part of the royal family or not, it's not the first time it's happening. Wikipedia this time. Did you know about Queen Charlotte? 1761, she was a queen. Imagine that. And her father and her mother were of black heritage, if I can use the word black right now, because I'd rather say black than color. Well, she was a person of color. She was described as a mulatra. Meghan ain't the first, and those little babies ain't the first. She was queen. Was the queen. Now, this story was kept quiet until 1999 because they wanted to hide the fact that there was a queen. There was a black queen, a Nubian queen in the kingdom. As a true Nubian queen, guess what? She had 15 children. 15, 3 times 5, 15. Nobody has been able to beat that record. But anyway, of one of her children, she begat Queen Victoria. You know Queen Victoria now? The scepter and the rod. The scary one in the heart of Manchester, I think it is. But yes. Queen Victoria was one of her children. And guess who Queen Victoria begat? Queen Elizabeth.
What?
At the end of the day, are you following what I'm saying? I don't understand what the big issue is about this color thing. You can't hide it. We're there everywhere. Anyway, what do I know? So it's all of that stuff. Personally, I don't like to take a stand in this thing. I just talk here and there. I don't maintain any.
Hey!
Wherever breeze blow, and my belly feels, I go there. But people shouldn't blame Meghan because you've never been married into the royal family. You have no idea. We make our analysis based on what we see in the press, of which we know the press is controlled media. So whatever gist is given to you is what is given to you. People look at the interview with Oprah. Do you really think that interview was not pre-planned or pre-rehearsed? Come on, mate. People also look at Harry and think, he's a twisted, disturbed little boy that never got over the trauma of his family. And his mom's death and stuff like that. I don't know about that. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I look at Harry and Meghan, I see a match made in heaven. Leave those two people alone. You understand what I mean? Is Harry right leaving his family to be with her? I see nothing wrong. He's not a kid. He's a grown man. He's married. He's obeying the scripture, Church of England, and he's cleaving to his wife. Leave them alone now. Are the world wrong in any way by doing what we think they're doing? Because we don't know. We're just following the media anyway. Are they wrong by acting the way they're acting, by cutting off funds and stuff like that? It is not the first time. You're not royalty. You're not entitled to the money anyway. So how is that a problem? You're not the first that security has been taken away from you or funds have been cut off. It is the process. You knew what you were getting into. Grow up, man up, and manage your family. Besides, put yourself in the place of our dear queen. Oh, queen, live forever. Live forever.
Yo, it's your girl DiGa reporting all the way from Facebook jail. I'm a ninja. I'm a ninja. I'm a ninja.